The old fort in Valença was quiet that morning. Stone walls, empty streets, just the sounds of my boots echoing through the tunnel as I followed the yellow arrows out of town. I made it to the bridge that crosses over to Spain, so I'll be over in Spain in just a minute. All right, I'm off to Spain. Those boats look cool down there. Spain looks awesome. Let me get a picture of that. That's pretty. I hope these turn out. I crossed the bridge out of Portugal into Spain. One step and everything felt different. New country, but same road. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm in Spain. As I get into Tui, I expect to see a whole lot of pilgrims as I get here, because this is where you can start to get your Compostela.
Ir viendo.
Hola.
Ir viendo.
Cheese, I'm here. Made it. I didn't have much of a plan. I figured I'd walk about 18 to 20 kilometers and see where I ended up. My feet, on the other hand, started to complain a little bit. The trail opened up again to gravel paths, farms, and small towns. Some gravel paths now. I'm happy. It's fun to walk through cities, but I'd rather walk in places like this. So much prettier. Not too far out of Tui, my feet started to have some hot spots, so I stopped at an old Roman bridge to check them out. I sat down, pulled off my shoes, and that's where I met some of my amazing Camino friends. We talked while I taped up my feet, and that's when I learned about Compeed. That stuff is amazing. Total lifesaver. And right behind us, of course, was another horse. Horses kept finding me on this trip.
Those are the best shoes to do the Camino. If you want to choose a shoe,
hit the link in her bio.
yeah,
She'll
hit the link in my bio. I don't have like I'm not an influencer.
Later that afternoon, we crossed paths with a small group of pilgrims gathered around some horses. Ones that you could rent for the Camino. That is where I met my first film photographer on the trail. I went up and asked her what camera she was using, and she mentioned she was about to run out of film. And without really even thinking, I pulled out 5 or 6 rolls of colored film and gave them to her. It was such a tiny moment, but something clicked. Letting that film go felt like I was letting go of the pressure I'd been putting on myself. The second guessing, the overthinking, and the feeling that I needed to get every shot right. After that, the Camino felt different. I wasn't chasing perfect frames anymore. I was finally present. We reached Porriño that evening completely wiped out. It's not the prettiest town on the Camino, but it didn't really matter. It felt like the right place to stop that night. It wasn't really a special night on paper, just showers, food, and grabbing whatever beds were left in the city. But looking back, it ended up being the start of my Camino crew. The people I'd end up walking with for the next 150 kilometers. All right, I'm just leaving Porriño. I'm heading to Redondela, I think that's what it's called. It's out probably about another 17, 18 kilometers from here.
Had my first interaction with the Spanish healthcare system, and it was actually overall pretty good. The initiative was like, oh, you're foreign, you don't qualify.
Oh, really?
And I was like, wait, no, I live in Madrid and I have a private plan.
Huh.
But as far as I know, I don't have to pay anything.
What's that?
My experience, I've been walking for the past like 10 days. There's been a lot of beautiful scenery. I met a lot of cool people. We meet people from all over the world here.
As we headed out toward Redondela, the trail opened into hills and tiny villages, with winding turns and pockets of light that kept pulling us to stop for photos.
All right, I made it here to Mos, España. It's a cute little town. Just stopped here for lunch at La Flora.
Got the ice queen.
I started noticing I wasn't thinking about my feet or my film anymore. Just the walk, the people, and the rhythm of it all. That's when it clicked. This was the trip I came here for. By the time we finally dropped down into Redondela, we weren't even hungry. We had eaten at almost every bar and every cafe that we passed earlier that day. Alright, we made it to Redondela. Only took us 8 hours. Our pace was 45 minutes per mile, which is not great. We just stopped a lot, had food everywhere we stopped. And now just looking for a place to stay. To Dia grocery store to grab some food. All I grabbed was some orange juice. But honestly, it was one of the best days of the trip. Simple, steady, and full of kind moments that make the Camino feel real. The town had this warm, welcome energy. Narrow streets, soft evening lighting, pilgrims drifting in from every direction. And as we walked into Redondela, I finally felt it. That quiet sense that I wasn't doing this alone anymore.
Today is day something. I stayed there last night at the very top, somewhere over there. Pretty nice albergue, and so got some good sleep. The bed was nice, shower was good. The trail is actually just right over there. So start from here and we'll head out as soon as I do some stretches because my legs are feeling tight.
Everyone walked at their own pace that day, and that's exactly how it should be on the Camino. No pressure, no rules, just you and the road. The climbs are steep, the views were incredible, and we met a lot of new faces along the way. Nothing fancy, just the kind of walking that makes the hours disappear.
All right, we had a choice to take a 70-meter, 15-degree slope trail or a 350-meter, 5-degree slope trail. And I tried the 70-meter. I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is like straight uphill. Finally made it to the top.
That day on the Camino was pretty simple. Just walking, talking, and grabbing photos whenever something caught my eye.
can hear something up ahead.
Somewhere along the trail, we heard this music drifting through the trees. As we got closer, we noticed a man playing a gaita, the Galician bagpipe. It echoed through the valley and stopped us in our tracks. To my surprise, we reached Pontevedra early, around 2 in the afternoon, tired, sunburned, and still laughing about the little moments on the trail. We were early enough to get beds in the municipal albergue. This is my first of the trip. I'd never slept in a room with 88 other people, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Just another Camino experience. Just make sure you bring your earplugs. I wandered the city for a while. Pontevedra is one of those places I'd love to return to. Beautiful stone streets, great light, perfect for black and white film. That night at the albergue, the whole place buzzed. People sharing food, trading stories, and planning for tomorrow. And that night, the big question came up. Do we go straight to Santiago, or do we take the spiritual variant? And looking around, it was pretty wild how quickly strangers had become friends. I kind of told myself that I was out there to tell other people's stories. But the more I photographed the people I met, the more I realized their stories were shaping mine. Every face here touched my trip in a different way. And I'm grateful for every one of them.